Greetings, Rastafari. Greetings, greetings. Okay, so I basically want to just start by just kind of setting a foundation of where I come from concerning this image and why I guess it would seem I'm a little obsessed with it. And I mean that respectfully. This motif, this image, if you're looking at it, chances are you already know what it is. But it comes from Ethiopia. And please pardon, I know most would get very upset that I changed it. And I promise you this is not being reproduced. It's just something I drew for myself. I don't draw for other people. I don't care for anyone to know that I even draw. I'm not showing this to show that I can draw. I want to show something concerning images and what's in them. This particular image I drew years back, but before I go there, I just want to say that I'm an amateur. I'm not trying to mislead anybody. I'm not trying to do anything like that. Just trying to get as positive vibes on this as much as possible. So again, no disrespect to anything or anyone. And please understand that I'm just an amateur. I'm not Mr. Know-it-all. I don't know any of this totally in such a way. I know nothing technically. Everything I know more or less either I experience or I know about because I read. And I'll leave that there. Anyway, so this image has influenced me a good portion of my life. Actually, this is really the true image of it. See that? So this is the real image of it, and this image goes way back. It's a very old image. It's an ancient image, and it's always had a place in my heart, image-wise. One of the images I always knew I would draw one day, and actually I did draw it. It's right here in front of you. But what I found, it's very interesting concerning the Ethiopian crosses. I never heard anyone talk about the images of crosses being a lion's head or anything like that, or anything else. Now, there may have been, so I'm not trying to take the credit or anything like that, but if anything, then we're helping to spread it. So anyway, this image has always just stood out. It has nothing to do with being Jamaican or loving reggae or listening to it or Bob Marley. It has nothing to do with any of that. Only until I got to Germany did I really understand this image even more, because I met some white Rastafarians, and when I met them, they knew everything there was to know about my culture, and I don't know nothing, and I felt stupid. I tell you the truth, I felt stupid, and I just dug in and I learned it. I learned about it. I read the biography, and then I started to learn that they're missing a lot of stuff and they're not realizing a lot of things. And anyway, I won't talk about that. But no worries. I make my own mistakes also. I'm not perfect. Not trying to point that out. So just saying that it's interesting what you find out when you really learn about it. So anyway, this image has just always stood out in my life. Always paid attention to it. The other side is Haile, Selassie, Ja Rastafari. Yeah, this image is, this is a, yeah. Anyway, Also, pay attention to that dollar bill sign. It's not really a that symbol comes from Ethiopia. I believe it's H over an S. Also, it's I over an S. It's a dollar bill sign. It means Yesos Salvador, Yesos Salvador, or Haile Selassie in this sense, or who knows what other. But it's a H over an S. See that symbol? It's not a. That's not an American symbol, nor is it Roman. They're gonna say it's Roman, but trust me, this is Ethiopian. It goes back. They love taking the credit for this stuff. So in fact, you're selling in the name of Christ is what you're doing. So that dollar bill sign is it's really something else. Anyway, not getting into that either, but that's a good example of images. So anyway, just showing you that this image. It stood out in my life, and I think only up until the last few weeks realizing the cross as being what something else. It's starting to almost make sense. Like, well, this is probably why. I don't know that I've been made aware of these images. And so anyway, to get to the real image. So this is the cross that I was telling you. It looks like a lion's face, in which it is. And so what I did, I put a meme around it so you could see that it looks like a lion. And see, again, you could see the mouth open. These are the eyes. This is the crown. It's even sideways too. There's a crown here. There may be a crown here too, maybe 3 times Selassie. And mind you, the name Selassie is also in Arabic Selassa, which is 3. You should pay attention to that. I wasn't told that until I got to India. It was a child, actually, a 19-year-old Muslim boy who realized that the word Selassie is actually means 3 in Arabic. And in Arabic, the number 3 is Selassa, or I could be saying it slightly wrong, but it's very close to that. So Selassa. But pay attention to that. Go dig into that. That might actually give you a very interesting view of what's really going on. Anyway, so what I finally did was it came to me just to draw. I was going to draw this image, but then I thought, well, that's going to take a long time, so I traced it. And hopefully you could see even better. So see, I traced it. And what you see is, like I thought, totally, a lion's face. I put a meme around it so you could see it. And so yeah, it's something more. It's not just a cross. And again, I don't believe that Yahshua, Jesus, died on the cross. The Quran says it also, that he was made to look as if he died on the cross, but it wasn't him. And I don't believe a man of God. And you know what? I got to say I believe. I don't know this for sure, but my gut instinctive, Ancient of Days feelings tell me that you can't catch a holy man. You're not going to capture him. You're not going to do anything. Nothing wicked you do is going to capture that man. And if you think the holy men that have gotten caught today got caught, and you're thinking they're paying the price, well, they wasn't holy. That's all I can say. But anyway, another story. It's a lion's face. It's obvious as daylight. The crosses are something more. And keep in mind, I really do believe that this is not just religion. And keep in mind also that this cross, it's not old. It's only about 10 years old, but it's made in the likeness of whatever it is they're copying. See that? They're making copies of it. They're making very good copies of it, because these come from Ethiopia. And they take their time. I mean, you could see it's not a mold. They're not perfect, but you also see they take their time. But I wonder if they know that these are lion faces. If the other crosses may be actually trees and flowers and other images other than just religious motifs. I don't know. I'm just asking. I don't know. So again, I hope I'm not offending anyone. I'm not taking away from anything, but I think this is what Bruce Lee was talking about in martial arts, it's not supposed to be there's not supposed to be conformity. It's not supposed to be a conform or a specific way. You're supposed to create, and it's supposed to change. You're not supposed to tie it down and call it something. You're supposed to create from that. So if you feel you're supposed to do a flip out of something, then you do it. And it may not have anything to do with the techniques you were taught, but you do it because you feel to do it. And that's what today's generation is doing. You know, if you look at their gymnastic, look at the BMX, look at the skating, look at the surf, look at all the extreme sports, and look how extreme it's gotten. They're doing flips because they've discovered a new way to get out of something. And I don't know, that's just a new generation expressing something. It's really wondrous. But anyway, I don't believe the Christ died on the cross, the first Christ, which again, Haile Selassie is the 225th. So I came across it in Ethiopia, in India, where I stayed for 2 years, and this is, it shows that, what the Quran was saying, that, again, I'm not Muslim, I'm free. I've practiced and understood all the religions, and I've dove into all of them, and they're all saying the same thing. I'm more of a Sufi, if at all anything, but and even that I mean respectfully. I don't mean to say that as if I'm calling myself that, just meaning that I understand all the views concerning the religions more or less, and it's all saying more or less the same thing, but I'm not here to talk about that. So the Quran says that he was made to look as if he went up, that he was crucified, and it also kind of says, and don't quote me on this, something to the area of he went to a valley, and I believe that valley is Kashmir, India. There's a legend, tomb there that is believed that the Jesus Christ, Yahshua, is buried. And I'll tell you, I was there, and honest truth, it feels like something is there, something's laying there. It feels like you're hallucinating, like you're getting high on some really good weed. And again, I mean that respectfully. I went every other day, and it's incredible how you feel something is there. But there's a man who actually who went there, a German man his name is Holger Kirsten. He went there also, and he tried to prove that Jesus lived in India, that Jesus actually died there. And after his crucifixion. See, they want to say that he was even hung on the cross, and maybe he was, but still, some way or another, I don't believe he got caught. They have a legend in Kashmir that he lived to 120 years old, and he had children there. But I'll tell you the truth, when you're in Kashmir, India, when you look at the Muslims up there, they look like they're Jewish. They have the broad noses, and they're not small people. They're not big in stature, but they're bigger than the Indians. They're probably more good looking, is what some of them say, than the Indians, and that's probably one of the reasons why they don't like them there. But anyway, this book was purchased in India. You could probably get it on eBay now, but I got this when I was in India, and it says for sale in the Indian subcontinent only. Indian rupees $2.95. And it talks about him surviving the crucifixion and living and having children in Kashmir, India, and dying there, and his tomb is there. Check it out. Go on YouTube. That's all I could say. I could be lying, but I'm telling the truth. And I experienced the tomb that apparently where he's buried is giving off energy. It makes you feel like you're I don't know what to tell you on that. It's the truth. Anyway, the images of the Ethiopian crosses, look deeper into them, and you'll see that they're not just crosses, there's something else to them. Anyway, give thanks. Rastafari. Bless.